struggled every day. I was homeless for about a year and a half, as I said, and it's no fun. I can tell you that. It's no joke. From being out there in the climate and the weather, I caught pneumonia. As soon as I resident in SRHAC here took me to the hospital, I stayed in there a while, and I remember the doctor saying, after they was finna let me go, he said, "Do you have anywhere to go?" And I said, "Yeah." But I was wondering, if I didn't have SRHAC, what would I do then after the hospital? Would I go back to the street, or would they help me, or what? But thank God I had SRHAC, somewhere to go. And I'm here now, and I thank you for that program. I've been here 4 years now. I was in just like that. And that was a lifesaver, because I don't think I have to know how much longer I could have took that, and I wouldn't have made it without the program. When my friend first told me about SRHAC, I was skeptical because I've been through other places. They put me on waiting lists, and he told me again, he said, try them. It stuck to me. I didn't have nothing else to lose no way. I'm homeless, right? So I goes, and just like that, it was beautiful. I mean, people treated me with respect, kindness, understanding, and I had my place in a month's time, and that was a blessing. Everybody else, years on a waiting list, or filled up, no place to go, So I would still be out there if it wasn't for SRHAC. It's a lifesaver. If you down and out, need a friend, call SRHAC. SRHAC is the place, the main place to call. You can go out and go here and go there, and you're going to be on a waiting list as long as your arm, but they get you in, they Johnny on the spot, they care for you, they mean business, and they will take you off the street.
The situation is that I'm a recovering alcoholic. 14 years will be my anniversary of March 29th. So 14 years of sobriety. What brought me to SRHAC was I was staying at a nursing facility because I couldn't take care of myself at that time. So I was going to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, and I found out that SRHAC had rooms for rent, and they also have sober living. So I wanted to get back out in the mainstream society, and that I wanted to get my life back in order again. SRHAC has been very helpful from the very beginning as far as helping me to stay sober. In the past, I was very limited in my will to be part of life. I was very withdrawn, very bipolar. And so there was a time I didn't know how to manage my life very well. And it wasn't for the help of my sponsor, and SRHAC has been helpful also over the years. I have lived with SRHAC for over, I believe, 12 years now. Here in SRHAC, here in Hyde Park, I found it to be a very stable community. They were very respectful, very helpful. I needed a lot of support early in my sobriety time. With the help of the SRHAC counselors that I've had, I had a couple over the years, and they've given me support as far as managing my money, managing my social life, as far as make sure that I was going to meetings, which I do on a regular basis to this date. I also make AA meetings at least 3 times a week. If I wasn't with SRHAC, I'd probably be living in a nursing facility. It's very important that SRHAC has been a part of my life, that my independent living, as far as being part of society and participating in society again, with SRHAC has given me the foundation of living a life again. And without their help, I would have been of living a life situation where I'd be very unhappy with myself.
I was homeless before I came to SRHAC. My wife had died, and I didn't know what to do. I went into a shelter. I have been here 5 years, and it's a pleasure. People are nice, especially my counsel. I like everything about it. I'm going to finish my GED at Dr. Martin Luther King, 43rd and Cottage Road. It has really changed my life. Without SRHAC, I'd probably be in trouble. Running the street, drinking, I don't know what I would be doing.
Our organization is SRHAC, which stands for the Single Room Housing Assistance Corporation. We are in the homeless prevention business. I started SRHAC in 1996, and then we got our first federal grant in 1998, and that was to take chronically homeless adults from the street, get them housed in SRO setting, and provide them supportive services. In other words, social workers who would visit them at least once a week, work out a service plan with them, and to see what could be done with their permission and their support to enrich their life. We were told by HUD that we are the only agency in the country that is solely focused on single-room occupancy. SRHAC wants to have and continue the opportunity to serve the chronically homeless single adults. There seems to be a shift away from that population as far as governmental monies being available, but we at SRHAC excel at this. These folks are not going to disappear. We need to help them get off the street and get their lives together. We're delighted that we've been recognized by both HUD and also the Continuum of Care for doing an outstanding job for all these years on serving a very needy population of the chronically homeless single adults. The vast majority that we serve are mentally ill. Their profiles are mostly Black, some Hispanic, and also that many have been incarcerated. Some have endured domestic violence, different situations that are just very sad. If funding is cut for these kinds of programs, particularly by HUD, and with SRHAC, our Single Room Housing Assistance Corporation, we will not be able to help as many of these folks, and it would be a shame because there are so many people who desperately need this help. They don't have much of a safety net, and they need support. They absolutely need support.
I was homeless for over 4 years in a homeless shelter run by the Jesus people at the Cornerstone Community Outreach. And they were the people who helped me get out of a homeless shelter and hook up with SRHAC. I was connected with SRHAC 2.5 years ago as an applicant and was approved rather quickly for their program. The staff that I've worked with from SRHAC are extremely kind, they're disciplined, they're organized, and they're very, very professional. I can say nothing but the highest praise from the staff people from SRHAC. When I was in a homeless shelter, I lived out of one suitcase and with a backpack on my back. And I was walking the streets during the day and sleeping in the shelter at night. SRHAC has given me a new lease on life, and I feel like a human being again. My counselor and my social worker from SRHAC check in with me weekly, and it's always a very loving conversation that wants to make sure I'm doing fine and that my housing situation is good. If Cornerstone Community Outreach had not connected me with SRHAC, I would be terribly depressed and still living in a homeless shelter, unable to truly care for myself with independence and with dignity. SRHAC has given me dignity to my life, it's given me humanity back to my life, and it's given me a new lease on life that makes me want to live each day to the fullest. If SRHAC were to go out of business and would not be able to assist me by subsidizing my rent, I would have to go back to a homeless shelter somewhere in the city of Chicago and go back to the dismal life that a homeless person lives in a homeless shelter. Praise God for SRHAC.
I have schizoaffective bipolar disorder. It's severe anxiety and severe depression. I had to get my case expunged. I got in some trouble. Being homeless in a mental health state means that you lose a grip on reality where you have a lot of bad panic attacks. And what I mean by panic attacks is that You have to figure out how you're going to breathe. You so worried about everything that it's so bad. The stress is so bad where you can't breathe. And if you can't breathe, you can't go to work. If you can't go to work, how you going to live? When you're homeless, you're down on your luck and you have no choice but to do whatever you have to do. And just because you're homeless don't mean you a downgraded citizen. It just means that an opportunity that you had didn't work out and you had to provide another way to take care of yourself. And if you can't take care of yourself, how do you feel whole as a person? SRHAC has helped me put back a lot of stability in my life. When you have an opportunity like SRHAC, you feel safe. You feel like there's help. There's an opportunity where I don't have to lay up with somebody and get pregnant just to get help. SRHAC have these case managers where they sit down and they actually listen to you talk. And a lot of times they can relate to how you feeling. SRHAC is a lifesaver. It's way better than sleeping on the streets and worried about where you go get your next meal from. Or somebody robbing you or God forbid something bad happen. It literally saved my life where I'm confident about the future.